Big surprises are in store for Social Security recipients this January 2025. From early payments you didn't expect to a rare double deposit twist, this month's schedule is full of exciting shifts that could impact your budgeting in a big way. Could your payment come earlier than planned? Will this double deposit help or create gaps later? Stay tuned, because what's happening this month is something you won't want to miss. There's a lot to unpack. Are you ready to learn how this could impact your budget? Let's get started. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Kedar here from How to Guys, bringing you the most important updates you need to know about your Social Security payments for January 2025. Whether you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or regular benefits, this video is all about helping you plan ahead and stay on top of your finances. We know how critical it is to manage your benefits and ensure every dollar counts. So today, we're diving deep into the payment schedule for January 2025. We'll discuss the early payments, double deposits, and how the calendar quirks are shaping this month's benefits. Stick around to find out all the key dates. You won't want to miss this. Before we reveal the payment schedule, let me ask you this. Are you checking your deposits regularly? Sometimes small errors can happen, and catching them early can save you a lot of trouble. I'll share more about how to do this later. Alright, as we step into the new year, it's a good time to reflect on how we're managing our finances and planning ahead. January can feel like a fresh start, but it also comes with its own set of challenges, especially when it comes to planning for your Social Security payments. With the holiday season just behind us, it's important to know exactly when those payments are coming in, especially if you're on a fixed income. Let's dive into the key payment dates for January 2025, starting with something a bit unique. First up, let's talk about the early SSI payment for January 2025. Mark your calendars, folks. This payment isn't arriving on January 1st, as you might expect. Instead, it's coming a little earlier. Why? It's all because of how the dates fall on the calendar this year. The SSI payment for January 2025 will actually hit your account on December 31st, 2024. That's right, technically, it's still in 2024. So, don't be surprised when your SSI payment shows up before the new year begins. So remember, for many of you receiving SSI, there's an early payment scheduled for December 31st, 2024. That's right, you're getting your January payment a day early. If you rely on this payment for your monthly expenses, that early deposit could come as a bit of a relief, especially if you're dealing with any post-holiday bills or trying to manage your budget as you kick off the new year. This early deposit means you don't have to wait until January 1st to get your funds, which is great for ensuring your financial stability right as January begins. Now, moving into the official start of the year, we come to January 3rd, 2025. If you've been receiving Social Security benefits since before May 1997, this is your payment date. It's a good idea to mark this one down if you're in this group, as it's a crucial date to know. And while you're at it, think about how this aligns with your other financial obligations. January 3rd is a great day to catch up on any bills that might have piled up after the holiday season. It's early enough in the month that it can really help get you back on track. Now, before we move on to the next date, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why these payment schedules sometimes change so drastically? Stick around, because in just a moment, I'm going to share why these early payments and double deposits happen. Next up, January 8th, 2025. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th, you'll see your Social Security payment on this date. For many people, the start of the year can be a bit of a financial scramble, especially if you've had a lot of extra expenses from the holidays. If your payment falls on January 8th, this is a good time to plan for those early month bills, think rent, utilities, and any other essential needs. Having your payment come through on the 8th can help you start the year off on the right foot, giving you a little breathing room. But hold on, don't just focus on this one date. Remember, planning ahead is key, especially when you're living on a fixed income. In a moment, I'll share some pro tips on how to budget these payments effectively so you're not caught off guard by unexpected expenses. Then, we move to January 15th, 2025, which is the payment date for those whose birthdays fall between the 11th and the 20th. If you're one of these folks, January 15th could be a key date for managing mid-month expenses. By this time, some of those holiday bills may be rolling in, and it's easy to feel the pinch. But having this payment come in can give you a boost and help keep your finances stable throughout the month. Now, let's pause for a second. I know some of you might be wondering, will these payments always arrive on time? And what if there's a delay? Don't worry, I've got some important insights coming up that will help you stay ahead of any surprises. Next, we have January 22nd, 2025. This is the payment date for those whose birthdays fall between the 21st and 31st. By this point in the month, you'll have had some time to assess where you stand financially and what your priorities are. Whether it's covering bills, buying groceries, or just making sure you're prepared for the rest of the month, January 22nd gives you that little extra cushion to finish the month strong. Before we jump to the next payment date, here's something to think about. What would you do if your payment arrived a day late or early? This happens more often than you think, and in just a bit, I'll share how you can prepare for those moments so your budget doesn't take a hit. Next one, on January 31st, 2025, there's another early SSI payment, this one for February. On January 31st, 2025, SSI recipients will receive their early payment for February 2025. Yes, you heard that right, an early payment for February. This is part of the scheduling quirks we've been talking about, so be sure to keep track of these dates to avoid any confusion. Remember, this early payment can help bridge the gap between January and February, especially if you're dealing with longer periods between paychecks or managing larger bills in the early part of the year. Think of this as a little extra boost to make sure you're covered for the beginning of February, and use it wisely to avoid running short before your next payment. That means you'll need to stretch that money through the entire month. Be cautious and avoid overspending in the first few weeks. Now, I know many of you are thinking, that's great, but what about unexpected expenses between these payments? Don't worry. Towards the end of this video, I'll reveal some strategies to stretch your budget even if you're caught in a tight spot. As we look at all these dates, it's clear that January 2025 has its own unique rhythm. Now let's quickly go over the January 2025 Social Security payment schedule so you're fully prepared. If you're on SSI, you'll receive your payment a little early on December 31st, 2024, as January 1st falls on a holiday. Next, for those who started receiving Social Security before May 1997, your payment will arrive on January 3rd, 2025. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of the month, you'll receive your payment on January 8th, 2025. For those born between the 11th and 20th of the month, mark your calendar for January 15th, 2025. And finally, if your birthday is between the 21st and 31st of the month, your payment will arrive on January 22nd, 2025. Here's a little bonus. February's SSI payment will also arrive early, hitting accounts on January 31st, 2025, due to how the calendar aligns. Make sure to plan your budget carefully, as this double payment situation can create a gap before the next regular deposit. With these dates in mind, you're now equipped to handle your finances effectively this month. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe How To Guys for more updates to help you stay ahead of your personal finances.